Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
Okay. When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly unfiltered podcast for online business owners. There were so many good ones, we always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways. And that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan. And this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Hey again. Before we jump into part 2 of this episode, we've got another quick heads up. The audio is still a little rocky in spots, and Harmony, our amazing podcast producer, once again tried every trick in the book and invented a few more. But trust us, the conversation in this episode is so good, you won't even care about the occasional glitch. Stick with us, it's worth it. Okay, what did you think of Nike's, or I guess what do you think of Nike's campaign right now with the women? Because I'm obsessed. Obsessed.
I debated, like I went back and forth between, and I'm going to say Alo again, just kidding, Alo, it being my favorite brand and Nike, because truly, like, what they are doing right now is they are actually moving the needle. And I think at Adidas, and not knocking Adidas, but they tried to do it, but they didn't go all in with that. And same at Fanatics. Like Fanatics actually, they created partnerships with Erin Andrews. They tried to push women's siding from an inclusivity standpoint, but they didn't do it well. And Nike spent the time, and I'm sure money, but they are doing it, and they are doing it well. And with some truly incredible women at the helm, I just
got goosebumps again. Like it. So one, again, we're going on a little tangent though, because that's who we are. But Jessica and I did an episode on Super Bowl predictions and whatnot. And one I predicted, but not necessarily predicted. I'm still putting it out there into the universe because I want this to happen. I want Elf to do this. I want Elf to partner with those women athletes and do like a whole campaign, like talking about like their primer and stuff, because I'm just like I feel like we need to get past that stigma too, like where, you know, like women and athletes like don't wear makeup or whatever, when in actuality, like, no, like they are, like they're sweating, they're trying to like find the stuff that's like it's sweat proof, like it's like really quick but still makes me feel pretty. And so when that ad first started coming up, I was like, oh my gosh, is this gonna be Elf? I was like, and then it was Nike, and I was like, okay, that one's good. But
you've seen, and I would add to my answer about a celebrity I want to meet. Have you seen Ilana Mayer? She was on, so she did Dancing with the Stars, but she's like this phenomenally
the rugby player.
Yes. Speaking
Girl
of
crush.
women campaigns, same. Like, she is unapologetically herself, and if anybody needs a woman advocate, I mean, I don't know why they're not tapping her more. Like Nike, to some extent, right, but like with Sports Illustrated and everything that she's involved in, truly one of the most influential and inspirational women of this time.
Yes. And she wears her red lipstick, like what did it for me? Obviously besides being an amazing athlete, but like doing it with her red lip, I'm like, say less.
Right.
I will ride with you into the dawn.
1,000%. And she had me at every sarcastic comment she's ever made.
Oh, Okay, next question. How did you navigate moments where you needed to slow down but still wanted to be seen as a leader? I feel like this is a really good. I'm not a mom yet, but I feel like that right now in my life, so many of my friends are becoming moms, and like it's funny because it's like them because you know me, you know my friends, and just it's interesting seeing them start to like navigate their careers as moms. So I feel like this is a really good question for moms and for women in general, but I am excited to hear your answer.
Me, no
I was
pressure.
saying it for all of them.
Say it was all about learning how to be strategic, and it was less about leaning into having to do everything and more about um, leaning into my strengths where I know I could shine, and then leveraging those. So like if there were 5 projects on the table, right? And previous Kim would be like, I got to do all of those to prove myself. It was more understanding the weight of each project and then leaning into my strengths to deliver on the projects that I knew would be more impactful, would maybe deliver more ROI. It was more about being strategic and making those choices. And so I would say you don't have to do everything. You don't have to pick up all of the projects. It's understanding and asking the questions and leveraging where you're going to get the most bang for your buck from like a leadership standpoint.
Mm-hmm. That was a 10 out of 10. Great answer. Great answer. Okay.
Win this pageant.
Yes. Best guess. If you could go back and give yourself or your younger self one piece of advice about balancing career and life, what would it be? I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand, but
yeah, I would say easily you don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to control the world. You need to understand the landscape and then put your energy where it's going to be the most impactful. And I don't know, and that comes with experience a lot of the times, right? So I certainly wouldn't have been able to do that in my Adidas days. I don't think I would have. I don't think I knew enough. I don't think I could navigate the politics. I don't think, I don't think I had enough experience at that time. Now, being able to zoom out and see things, from a higher level, I think then that gives you the ability. So if you do have the ability to ask questions, always ask questions. If you do want to be more strategic in how you're growing and how you're pursuing your career, you have to zoom out. You have to ask questions. You have to understand the entire landscape before just jumping headfirst into it, because that brick wall comes fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is.
I'm just absorbing that because I'm thinking about how I know you know this. I've said this to you so many times, but like you've been the best boss I've ever had. And like, I feel like after that was all downhill, low key. Not really. There were some good, there were some other good bosses sprinkled in, but it's the honest truth. Like, but what I will follow up with that is I will never forget my mom saying like, you are going to have good bosses and you're going to have bad bosses. And like, I'm glad I was able to experience both at such a young age, because I think that now at 30, like I do, like seeing some of my friends like just getting laid off, like, or feeling lost, where it's like, I'm like, well, I've like been there, done that. Okay. Like, let's keep going with it. But I guess I'm just, I don't know where I was going. So I lost my train of thought.
You feel like you can identify the red flags, right? So
yes, and I think the questions though, where it's like I go into any interview now, and even with, so right now, obviously, I'm not in a corporation, but having clients, like I feel like it's prepared me, and like we ask the questions where you would be surprised at like clients who don't know their numbers, like where I'll never forget asking a recent client, and I asked them, I was like, what is the marketing budget? And she smiled and goes, you. And like, I had to like, again, like I had to like, practice my facial expressions, because I'm like, that's not a marketing budget, like, and just, again, just asking the questions. I think that is the best piece of advice.
And I think also, you don't have to have all the answers. I always felt like I had to have the answers. I had to make a decision. I had to, do all of these things. And I think with the time and experience, truly, you find the most value in asking questions and doing the discovery. And not even from the answers you get will you get the most information. Maybe it's reading between the lines. And so trying to interpret what people say and what they mean is a big part of it too. And no longer feeling like I had to fill the room with words, or I had to have all of the answers to everything that was asked. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways that I had, and I would truly stand by that as maybe one of the biggest pieces of advice is you don't need to know things. I now, in my role at Stryker, I took the role because I wanted to learn. So I took this role knowing I knew nothing about CRM and marketing analytics from that lens, and just jumped in and asked questions and did research and really spending the time getting to understand what that looks like. And I don't have the answers. And so I no longer feel like I have to jump in and contribute right away. It's more taking a step back and giving myself the space to learn through all of like the super talented people around me.
Okay, before we get into like, there's two, like, we do like on my feed and like our weekly report, but before we get into that, can you tell me like a little bit more like of your role at Stryker and just what like a day-to-day looks like there for you, and also like obviously if it's top secret, I mean, you can tell me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, tell me more about your role there and all that stuff.
So I took this role. It's on the commercial systems team, and the commercial systems team in the endoscopy division, they are focused on standing up and providing service around like a lot of the systems that they use for order management, CRM. So like your customer resources. We work with a lot of stakeholders in the marketing group and the sales group, and then customer relations. And so my role specifically is to bring better communication and collaboration across all of our stakeholders, and then also partner with our marketing and sales organizations to help support them in better maximizing the Salesforce tool. So it's a lot of like innovation within the tool landscape to support marketing efforts around like maybe analytics or different functions in there. I won't bore you with a lot of the details, but it's a lot more data than I was used to, and a lot more on the relationship building side.
How much would you of this job would you say is creative, or is it just mainly data and analytics?
Yeah, I would say where at Fanatics it was probably 70-30, so like 70% creative and then 30 analytics. It's reversed here. It's very data and analytics heavy, and then 30% creative from an innovation and solution standpoint. So understanding the system, which it was a huge learning curve, didn't know anything about CRM, didn't know anything about this industry, but knew I wanted to learn. And the best way to do that was just kind of jumping in. And I have an amazing boss, and Stryker truly does provide, like, this isn't a Stryker ad, but like they truly provide a lot of resources to help get your feet under you. And so they trusted that I could do that, and hopefully I am. And so leveraging the ability to create relationships across those different groups, so sales and marketing specifically, so that we can provide solutions for them, so we can keep moving the business.
Oh, I like that. That sound to me like knowing, because to me, you always have been a data person. or where it's like, again, what I saw versus what I didn't see.
You saw it before me then. I did love data. I did love data, but I truly like tried to hold on to the designer and a lot of like the creative aspects, like the photo shoots and that sort of stuff. And I think I had gotten enough of that I was really ready to lean into like, okay, I really want to understand how this data can influence everything from like demand planning to like marketing campaign execution and decisions and all of those and like customer engagement in general. And so that's kind of where I'm at now.
I could talk to you all day, but I'm going to try and keep this at an hour. But okay, so every week we have we share what's on our feed, and that can be something that went viral or a campaign that we saved. What is one campaign or viral post on your feed currently? And I know, like, if you're doom scrolling.
Well, there's plenty of doom scrolling. However, I would say the ones that I'm saving right now are all focused on AI. AI within like the CRM space, AI like just from like creating prompts in general and recommendations on that. And then, how to make yourself more efficient in your day to day. So the one thing I'm super excited about that they're bringing on board is, again, I feel like this is going to be an ad, but like Microsoft Copilot. So it truly is going to be a game changer. And part of it, my role is to figure out how to help support people in the organization and bring them on board to utilize AI, specifically the Microsoft Copilot, just because people are bogged down with meetings. People are bogged down with creating presentations. People are bogged down with creating reporting, and they don't have to be. And this technology is so exciting and terrifying. I get it. It's terrifying.
Yes. No.
But I think my job is to interpret it and make it accessible and how to like maybe baby step into it so people feel comfortable utilizing it. And I'm so a lot of my feed now, my algorithm is either puppies or AI. AI stuff.
I know Jessica and I are both our AI. Like we love AI. Like you said, where it's like I treat my AI as like my little assistant. Like, and we're in the industry, where we're starting to have clients who are like, oh, I'm just going to use AI to write an email. Oh, I'm just using AI to write a blog. And like, we get it. But I think for me, people are going to be able to tell. Like, I think it's the skill where it's like, you can train it though. Like, I definitely believe you can train it to write a decent email, to write a decent blog. But I think right now we're at a time where people are still learning. I can't remember who said it or where I heard this, but somebody was comparing AI to when the internet first came out. And I was like, true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Granted, I've grown up with the internet, but I also like experienced dial-up. AIM. And I think that's also why I think that's why Jessica and I love what we do and why I love social media in general and just marketing in general. This is a side note too, but I'm curious, how are Charlie and Miles using it? Like, are they using it?
Maddie,
yeah.
This is a debate in our house because yes, they're like, I just chat GPT that. And I'm like, you need to learn how to write. And they're like, it's chat GPT. I'm like, gosh. I mean, I want them to learn AI. I do. I think this is going to be a huge component in everybody's life going forward. And we're at the ground level. However, want my kids to learn how to write without assistance.
Yes. No, and I think that's gonna and that's exactly where it's like even with clients too. So it pains me when I hear somebody say they're gonna use ChatGPT to write an email campaign or a blog post, and I'm like, please, if you do that, get rid of there are so many signs. There are so many signs that it's ChatGPT, and I'm just like, at least let's critically think that,
Yeah. I walked in the other day and not that this is AI, but it's just like, it's just something that I think we'll have to get comfortable with. You're going to have to get comfortable with it when when you have little ones running around, because it's going to be 10 times worse.
I know.
The kids, I walked in, they're doing their homework. Not them. Miles was doing his homework at the table, and he was like, Alexa, and would ask like whatever the math problem was. And I was like, oh, what do we? Because I had taken his phone away. I was, we had to talk, like, sit at the table, do your homework. And so he's like, Alexa, could be a problem in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, what? Yep. No, I think this topic lives rent free in my mind, because I do think, like, don't have kids yet, but I know that when I do, because I'm just thinking about if we were teenagers once too, and like we were still doing, no, we didn't have AI, but we were still like being mischievous and like finding the workarounds of anything. So
listen, I thought it was, at first I was like, you're in trouble. But then I was like, that was pretty smart, man. Cheated the system. I told Mike later, I was like, you know what he did? He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay in this world.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So to wrap it up, we do our weekly report. So what are you currently reading?
Honestly, it's truly all of the articles on AI and like how to apply them in life, and even just work life, but like life. I recently got this calendar. It's like a digital calendar I can hang on the wall, and I can tell it like, Miles has practice every Tuesday until April 5th. And from this time to this time, and it'll plug it in, and then it'll be like location ? And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that part. Like it's incredible.
Awesome.
And so like I just want to learn more about it. And I think that's kind of where I'm at from a reading standpoint. And then I love all of my like, dumb romance, Regency, mystery, blah 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 novels on a beach.
Wait, okay. One other AI question, because you brought it up. And then we're still talking about it. What would you say one prompt or something that's just been really cool and blew your mind that it could do? Because I have one that I want to share with you, but I'm curious to know if you have any like prompt.
It's not a prompt. I mean, this is more like a capability. We have like all of these training videos, and if we don't have the documentation to go along with it, like, just quick guides or those sort of things, we could take all of the videos and create quick guides from there, like that, within the branding templates. That would have been like hours and hours of work.
Yeah.
And it was 2 seconds. So that's not necessarily a prompt, but that one was mind-blowing for me.
Mine's not a prompt either, but I know you'll find this one fascinating. So we're currently doing some rebrands, and I was working on a color palette, and I don't know what made me think to put this into ChatGPT, but I put the hex codes in, and I was like, how would you tweak this color palette? And like, it gave me recommendations, and not all of them were great, but to me, I was just like, this, for especially small business owners who can't afford a graphic designer or whatever, I'm like, again, if you know how to use AI, like you could make a pretty decent brand. Because then I also played around with it too, where it's like, I found a font and I was like, what would be a good complementary font to this? Again, AI is still learning. And so the fonts were nothing impressive, but still, where I'm like, oh, like this will be interesting when it does start to like recognize other type fonts that aren't like just Google fonts,
Yeah. That's great. I love that. I think you will find the most success when you're asking it to analyze something. The writing piece, to your point, it's awesome. It's great. Like when you have like brain fog or something, and you're like, I don't even know how to respond to this email. So you're like, help me.
Mine is this grammatically correct? Like, does this sound like, how do I make this sound a little bit better?
Right. And that's great. But I think you'll find like the most impact when you're asking it to analyze something, or what is the opinion of blah 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 blah. Like I think that is huge, and that's not tapped into. It's primarily like rewrite or
Yep,
whatever it is.
yep. Okay, next question. What is one thing that you're eating? You got any good
Oh,
snacks that working from home, I'm always looking for good like
oh,
snacks.
yeah. That's my biggest. That's the hardest part. If anybody asks you, like, what's the hardest part about working from home? Do you feel lonely? No, you snack. You snack and then you drink 40 Diet Cokes. That's what you do because it's there. So there's this stuff I got from Costco. It's called Cantina Crunch. Have you ever heard of it?
Uh-uh.
I hope I'm saying it right. Cantina Crunch. Google it.
I
So
am.
it's like this. It's like a cereal-ish thing, but I'll just snack on it, and there's
Ooh,
a ton of
it looks good.
protein in it
Yes.
too. It's tasty.
That's what I need. Yes. Okay. That's what I need.
Sam's Club.
Okay.
Or
And
no,
then
Costco.
Costco. Noted. Okay. And then what are you playing? So watching or listening to, what are you playing?
But so a lot of like the comedy specials. So like the Nikki Glazer, Nate Bargatze. I mean, I could listen to his shows, his series, like over and over. His podcast too is hilarious.
Did you watch? Oh, I'm gonna butcher her name. It's not Jenny Wu. Is it? What's her name? Allie. Yes, thank you. I'm
Allie
like,
Blue?
yeah,
No, I
yes,
haven't
yes.
yet. Is it really good?
I haven't either. No, I haven't, but I love her. I love her so much. So it's on my list.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are you obsessing over besides AI?
Clearly, it's AI. I can't stop talking about it now in this episode. I don't know what I'm obsessing over. What are you obsessing over?
I'm probably obsessing over. You need to come see me in Charleston because I would do this workout with you. Like you're like my person who like will like eat like gladly say yes to like an intense workout with me.
Well,
but I'm obsessing.
Ninja workout?
No.
Oh
no.
What's a ninja workout?
No. No, I'm obsessing over this workout. It's called The Works. Like the workout place it's called The Works, but it gives it's giving the hot room like back home.
Oh,
you know?
but is that the one where you have to go in by yourself?
No. It's seriously, it's a group. It's hot yoga, but there's a lot of like mat Pilates as well, but you're sweating, you are dripping, so it's a good
okay.
You've been into is it F45? Is that what you've been doing?
I'm doing Fit Body Boot Camp. I do love it. So that one is great. It's 30 minutes. It's quick. I can like get in, get out at lunch, and like it's super quick, and I feel like you get it a lot in the 30 minutes. I don't know if I'm obsessed with it. I would be obsessed with if they had a hot room down here.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. There's nothing around here like that.
So come to Charleston. We'll go. Or we just need to open our own franchise. Or I need to go to you. We need to open our own franchise.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Done. I'm moving in,
I don't
Mike.
know if I would say I'm obsessed with like the working out though. I do it so I can eat more cookies.
Well, I mean, same. Obviously, same. Because, duh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll type in AI. She's obsessing over AI.
They'll be like, God, this chick with her AI. God bless this phone. Yeah.
So AI, final answer?
Maddie.
Okay. What is one thing you're recommending? Or what's one thing you would recommend besides AI? You gotta have something else.
The magnesium oil.
Oh, okay. I like that. And then last but not least, what are you treating yourself to lately?
I'll tell you. It is at-home massage, so it's like a medical massage. So they'll come and they come to your house and like essentially stretch you and massage you, and these old bones need it, and it is amazing. So Sit Therapy here, she is incredible, And so, yeah, there's I treat myself. And she comes to your house.
Yeah, no, I need that. I need that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on #managed. I can't thank you enough. I already know people are going to fall in love with you. And I have a feeling people are going to be like, bring back Kim for episode 2. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. Where can people find you if they want to stalk you or follow you, if you'll allow it?
You can find me on LinkedIn. So I'm on LinkedIn, fairly active there, or you can find me on Instagram, KimmyDubs11.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we will catch you guys on the airwaves.
I missed Jessica, but I'm so glad we got our time to be.
Me too. Me too. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you guys on the airwaves next week.
Being a social media manager can feel like folding a fitted sheet while you're trying to explain at the family reunion what it is you actually do online, but you don't have to do it alone. The #Managed Collective Mentorship is your weekly dose of business strategy, advice, and let's be honest, therapy. Grab your lunch, hop on our weekly lunch break coaching calls with myself and Maddie, and let's figure out how to thrive in this wild social media management world. Sign up now at #managed.com/mentorship. Use code MANAGED for 20% off your mentorship. That's MANAGED. Join us now at #managed.com/mentorship. We'll see you there at the next lunch break therapy sesh. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the #hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at #managed on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.